Let me ask you something powerful. Have you ever felt like no matter what you do, how much you love, how much you give, men still pull away? You text first, you give your heart, you show him you care, and yet somehow he becomes distant. What if I told you there's one simple boundary that can flip the entire script, a single shift that makes a man see you differently, crave you deeply, and choose you forever? This isn't about playing games. It's not about pretending to be someone you're not. In fact, this boundary is the opposite. It's about unlocking the side of you that men can't resist. Because here's the truth. Men don't fall in love when you give them everything. They fall in love when they feel something rare, something irreplaceable, something only you can give. In this video, I'm going to reveal the one boundary that makes men respect you, adore you, and stay loyal. Not for a moment, but for a lifetime. If you stay until the end, I'll even share the psychology behind why this works, so you'll never question his feelings again. So, grab a coffee, silence those notifications, and stay with me. Because what you're about to learn has the power to transform your love life forever. Or cherish. Here's something most women never hear. Men don't fall in love the same way women do. For many of us, love feels like an emotional build-up. The more time we spend, the more we share, the deeper we feel. But for men, it works differently. Men are wired to chase meaning, not just emotions. You see, a man can like you, enjoy your company, and even feel physical attraction. But those things alone won't make him fall in love. What makes a man commit on a deep, lasting level isn't how much you give him, it's how you make him feel about himself when he's with you. Psychologists call this the hero instinct, the part of a man's mind that lights up when he feels needed, respected, and trusted. If he feels like he's winning with you, like he's becoming a better version of himself by being around you, his bond with you grows naturally. But here's the catch. If he feels controlled, unappreciated, or taken for granted, his instinct is to pull away. And here's the truth nobody tells you. Men are constantly testing emotional boundaries, often without even realizing it. It's not about manipulation, it's about biology. A man wants to know if you value yourself enough to set limits. When you don't, he subconsciously loses respect. But when you do, when you hold yourself to a higher standard, something incredible happens. He leans in closer. Falling in love, for a man, isn't about finding someone perfect. It's about finding someone who makes him feel deeply connected, inspired, and safe, all at the same time. And the boundary I'm about to reveal later is the key to triggering that emotional shift inside him. The one that makes him not just fall for you, but stay there forever. Most relationships don't fall apart because two people stop loving each other. They fall apart because two people stop understanding each other. And here's the painful truth. Love alone has never been enough to make a relationship last. You can love someone with your entire heart, but if the emotional balance is off, the connection starts to break down. And this happens more often than we realize. At the start, everything feels exciting. The chemistry, the passion, the constant communication. But as time passes, we slip into habits that slowly erode the bond. One of the biggest reasons relationships fail is overgiving. So many women, out of love and care, give endlessly. Their time, their energy, their attention, believing that the more they give, the more secure the relationship becomes. But for many men, something unexpected happens. The more they receive without earning it, the less they value it. It's not because they're ungrateful or selfish. It's biology and psychology. Human beings, men especially, are wired to appreciate what they work for. Another silent relationship killer is losing your individuality. In the beginning, he was drawn to your spark, your confidence, your independence. But over time, without realizing it, many women shift their entire lives around their partner. They stop pursuing their passions, stop prioritizing their happiness, and slowly lose the very essence that made them so attractive in the first place. And when that happens, the relationship starts feeling heavier instead of inspiring. Then there's emotional overdependence. When your happiness starts relying entirely on your partner's attention or approval, it creates invisible pressure. He begins to feel suffocated, and instead of leaning in closer, he instinctively pulls away to breathe. The truth is, relationships rarely fail because of one big betrayal or fight. More often, they fail through 1,000 tiny moments where we abandon ourselves, where we compromise too much, give too much, and lose too much of our identity just to keep someone else happy. Over time, resentment builds, attraction fades, and communication breaks down. But here's the thing, it doesn't have to be this way. There's one powerful shift that can completely change this dynamic. One boundary that flips the emotional balance, reignites respect, and makes him choose you again and again. And that's exactly what we're about to uncover next. Because once you understand this, everything changes, not just how he sees you, but how he loves you forever. Here's something most people never realize. Boundaries are not walls. They're not about pushing someone away or making them feel rejected. Boundaries are about self-respect. And there's nothing more magnetic than a woman who knows her worth. When you have strong, healthy boundaries, you're sending a silent but powerful message. I value myself and I won't settle for less than I deserve. And here's the surprising part. Men find this incredibly attractive. Why? Because deep down, a man wants to feel like he's with someone who chooses him, not someone who needs him to feel complete. Think about it. If you give someone unlimited access to your time, energy, and emotions without any limits, they start taking it for granted. Not because they're cruel, but because human nature works that way. We value what we earn, not what we're handed. And when a man has to rise up to meet your standards, something powerful happens. His respect for you deepens, his emotional investment grows, and his attraction becomes stronger than ever. Setting boundaries doesn't mean you're cold or distant. It means you know when to say yes, when to say no, and when to walk away if your needs aren't being met. It's about teaching people how to treat you, not through lectures or arguments, but through your actions. And here's the part most women overlook. Boundaries don't push good men away. They filter out the wrong ones. A man who truly cares about you will lean in closer when he sees you respect yourself. A man who just wanted convenience will quietly disappear. And honestly, that's exactly what you want. Because the right man wants a challenge. He wants to feel like he's winning your heart, not that it was handed to him on the first date. Without boundaries, relationships lose balance. The dynamic shifts, resentment builds. But when you stand in your power, when you set clear expectations and communicate your value, everything changes. You stop chasing love, and love starts chasing you. And in just a moment, I'm going to share the one specific boundary that makes men not only fall for you, but stay deeply emotionally connected for life. This is where everything clicks, so stay with me, because this next part could completely transform your love story. This is it, the moment you've been waiting for. The one boundary that has the power to change everything when it comes to love, attraction, and emotional connection. And I promise you, once you understand this, you'll never look at relationships the same way again. Here it is, never give more to someone than you're receiving, emotionally, mentally, or physically. At first it sounds simple, but when you really think about it, this boundary is everything. Because most relationships don't fail because people stop loving each other. They fail because the balance gets lost. One person gives and the other person takes. One invests everything while the other becomes comfortable, even complacent. Here's what happens when you overgive. At first he feels grateful, but over time something shifts. It's human nature. When we don't have to earn something, we value it less. If a man feels like he can give you the bare minimum and still have your heart, his motivation to step up slowly fades. Not because he's bad or unloving, but because desire thrives where there's respect, and respect comes from boundaries. This one boundary tells him, without you ever saying a word, my love is deep, but it's not unconditional to the point where I lose myself. I choose you, but I won't abandon me to keep you. And when a man senses that energy, something incredible happens. He leans in closer. He values you more. He feels inspired to rise up, to give, to nurture, to protect, to commit. This is how you create emotional polarity, the natural tension that fuels attraction and keeps it alive. It's not about being cold, manipulative, or playing games. It's about showing up as someone who knows her worth and refuses to settle for less than she deserves. A man doesn't fall in love because you bend over backward to please him. He falls in love Let's talk about something that most people completely misunderstand: emotional connection. If you've ever wondered why some relationships feel effortless and magnetic while others slowly fade away, it often comes down to this one thing: boundaries. When you set the right boundary, something incredible happens inside a man's mind and heart. At first, it might sound counterintuitive. You might think, wouldn't setting limits push him away? But here's the truth: the opposite is true. Healthy boundaries pull him closer. Why? Because emotional connection isn't built on constant availability or unlimited giving. It's built on mutual respect and a balance of energy. When a man feels that your love, your time, and your attention are precious, not something he can take for granted, he becomes more emotionally invested. You see, deep down, men are wired to pursue what they value. If he feels like you've already given him everything without asking for anything in return, the emotional tension fades. But when you hold your ground, when you subtly communicate, "I love you, but I also love myself," it creates a powerful shift. He begins to earn your affection instead of expecting it. And that effort builds connection, because effort creates value. There's also something deeply psychological happening here. When you set a boundary, you're giving him an opportunity to step up. You're saying, "If you want to be part of my world, meet me at my standards." And when he chooses to meet those standards, he feels proud of himself. Proud that he's the man who gets to love you, respect you, and win your heart. That pride deepens his emotional attachment to you, because he's now invested in the relationship on a deeper level. But there's something even more powerful. Boundaries create safety. So many women believe that being endlessly agreeable or giving will make a man feel loved. But what men actually crave is clarity. When you clearly communicate what you will and won't accept, you make him feel secure. He doesn't have to guess where he stands with you. He knows, and security is the foundation of emotional intimacy. Think about it. When there's no clarity, there's confusion. Confusion breeds anxiety. Anxiety pushes people apart. But when there's clarity, there's trust. And trust builds closeness faster than anything else. And here's the most beautiful part. When you set this boundary, you're not just changing how he connects with you. You're changing how you connect with yourself. Suddenly, you're no longer bending, shrinking, or compromising who you are just to be loved. Instead, you're showing up authentically, fully, confidently. And authenticity is magnetic. It invites him to drop his guard, open up emotionally, and meet you on a deeper, more vulnerable level. This is why this boundary works. It shifts the entire dynamic from fear-based love, where you're trying to hold on to him, to mutual desire. He stays not because he has to, but because he wants to. He chooses you every day, over and over again, because he feels both emotionally safe and passionately drawn to you. When you respect yourself enough to hold this boundary, you give him the space to fall in love with who you truly are. Not the version of you that bends to keep him, but the version of you that inspires him to rise and meet you. And that's where real connection begins, and where lasting love thrives. When you set this boundary, something amazing happens. His entire energy toward you begins to shift. And if you've been wondering whether it's really working, there are very clear signs that a man is falling deeper in love with you. First, watch how he invests his time. When a man starts prioritizing you over everything else, friends, work, distractions, it's not random. It's because you've become important to him on a level that goes beyond attraction. He doesn't just want you in his life, he's making room for you there. Another powerful sign is when he starts opening up emotionally. Men aren't naturally wired to share their deepest thoughts and fears with just anyone. But when he trusts you, when he feels safe, he begins revealing his vulnerabilities, the childhood stories, the insecurities, the dreams he hasn't told anyone else. That emotional intimacy is a huge indicator that he's bonding with you on a deeper level. You'll also notice he puts in consistent effort. He remembers the little details, your favorite song, the way you take your coffee, that story you told him weeks ago. He plans things for you, checks in on you, and shows up when he says he will. That kind of consistency isn't casual, it's love in action. Another sign? He protects your happiness. He genuinely cares about how you feel and starts making choices that honor you. Whether it's defending you, respecting your boundaries, or avoiding behaviors that could hurt you, he's showing you that your emotional safety matters to him. Pay attention to how he responds to your boundaries. When a man is deeply invested, he doesn't fight against them. He respects them. In fact, he's drawn closer because he sees your standards as part of what makes you special. He realizes your love is valuable, and he wants to rise up to meet you there. Finally, look at his future talk. When a man falls deeply in love, he can't help but weave you into his plans, whether it's a trip he wants to take, goals he wants to achieve, or dreams he wants to share. If he's imagining tomorrow with you, that's his heart showing you where it wants to be. When these signs start showing up, it's proof that this boundary works. He's not just attracted to you, he's emotionally connected, and that connection is what keeps love alive, not just for now, but for a lifetime. Now that you understand how powerful this boundary is, let's talk about the mistakes that quietly push men away, even when you deeply care about them. These are the things most women don't realize they're doing. And yet they're often the reason attraction fades and emotional connection starts to break down. One of the biggest mistakes is over-prioritizing his needs while ignoring your own. At the beginning, it feels natural to give your time, your attention, your energy. But when you constantly put him first and yourself second, something subtle happens. He stops seeing your time and love as valuable. Without even meaning to, you teach him that your world revolves around him. And the mystery, the challenge, the balance, all begin to fade. Another common mistake is chasing instead of inspiring. You can't make someone love you by calling more, texting first every time, or rearranging your life to be available. In fact, the more you push for connection, the more pressure he feels, and the natural reaction to pressure is distance. Attraction doesn't grow in pursuit, it grows in space. Then there's the trap of over-explaining your worth. When you constantly try to prove why you're good enough, through actions, over-giving or over-accommodating, you actually communicate the opposite, that you don't fully believe in your own value. A confident woman never has to convince a man to love her. Her energy says it all. Another silent relationship killer is losing your individuality. Many women unintentionally make the mistake of slowly abandoning their passions, hobbies, and personal goals just to blend into his life. But here's the irony. The independence, ambition, and spark you had in the beginning are likely what attracted him in the first place. When you give that up, the dynamic shifts, and the relationship starts to feel heavier instead of inspiring. And we have to talk about ignoring red flags. Too many people stay quiet when something bothers them out of fear of conflict or rejection. But pretending you're okay with something when you're not only leads to resentment, and resentment kills love faster than anything. Boundaries aren't just attractive, they're necessary for emotional safety. Another huge mistake is confusing attention with love. A man texting you every day, liking your photos, or complimenting you doesn't automatically mean he's emotionally invested. If you mistake surface-level attention for deep connection, you can end up settling for less than you deserve, and he will sense that. Lastly, one of the most damaging mistakes is abandoning your standards out of fear of losing him. The moment you start accepting behavior that goes against your values just to keep him, the power dynamic shifts. Instead of mutual respect, the relationship becomes one-sided, and once respect is gone, attraction slowly follows. Here's the truth. The right man doesn't fall in love with you because you bend yourself into his world. He falls in love because you stand firmly in your own. When you hold your standards, when you embrace your individuality, when you honor your worth, you create a magnetic energy that draws him closer naturally. Avoid these mistakes, and you'll never have to chase love. You'll inspire it, you'll attract it, and most importantly, you'll keep it. Now that you understand how powerful this boundary is, it's time to turn insight into action. Knowing the secret means nothing if you don't actually live it. So let's create a simple, step-by-step plan you can start using today to set this boundary and instantly shift the dynamic in your relationships. The first step is getting clear on your standards. You can't enforce a boundary if you don't know what you're willing to accept and what you're not. Take some time today to reflect on what makes you feel respected, valued, and secure in a relationship. Write it down, because clarity gives you confidence. Second, communicate with your actions before your words. Boundaries aren't about giving long speeches or ultimatums. They're about showing through your behavior what you allow in your life. If a man cancels on you last minute, don't chase, don't beg, don't argue. Simply match his energy and create space. Actions speak louder than words. And when you consistently show self-respect, people notice. Third, stay consistent. This is where most people slip up. At first, it feels empowering to set a boundary. But when you really like someone, it's tempting to bend the rules just this once. But every time you compromise on your own standards, you send a silent message that you don't fully believe in them. Remember, your consistency teaches him how to treat you. Fourth, be okay with walking away. This is the hardest part, but it's also the most powerful. When you know your value, you stop clinging to relationships that don't serve you. You stop trying to convince someone to choose you. Instead, you choose yourself first. Ironically, this is the exact energy that makes high-quality men step up and give more. And finally, focus on your own happiness. The more fulfilled you are in your own life, your passions, your friendships, your personal growth, the less you'll feel the need to chase love. And that's when you become truly magnetic. Because a woman who is whole on her own attracts a man who wants to add to her happiness, not become the source of it. Start today. Set the standard. Hold the boundary. Honor your worth. Do this, and you won't just inspire a man to love you, you'll inspire him to stay in love with you forever. As we come to the end of this video, I want you to pause for a moment and really feel what we've uncovered together. You now understand the truth about how men fall in love, why relationships often break down, and most importantly, the one boundary that changes everything. But here's the key. Knowing this boundary is not enough. You have to live it. You have to embody the energy of someone who knows her worth, honors her standards, and refuses to settle for less than she deserves. Because this isn't just about getting a man to fall in love. It's about becoming the woman who inspires deep, lasting love. Love isn't about chasing. It isn't about giving endlessly until there's nothing left of you. And it's definitely not about bending your standards to keep someone in your life. Real love, the kind that lasts, comes from alignment, respect, and emotional safety. When you stand in your power, when you embrace your boundaries, you naturally attract the kind of connection you've been searching for. Now here's your next step. Choose yourself first. Stop asking, what do I need to do so he loves me? And start asking, what do I need to do so I love myself? Because when you show up as the most authentic, fulfilled, confident version of you, the right man will recognize it instantly. And he won't just want to be with you, he'll fight to keep you. And if this video resonated with you, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and share your biggest takeaway. Which part of today's message hit you the hardest? Your story might inspire someone else who needs this wisdom right now. If you haven't already, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. We're diving even deeper into love psychology, feminine energy, and relationship strategies that actually work. And before we close, I want you to remember this one thing: you are the prize. The love you're seeking starts with the love you give yourself. The boundary we've talked about today isn't just a rule. It's a reminder that you are valuable, worthy, and deserving of a man who chooses you fully every single day. This isn't the end of your story. This is the beginning of your transformation. Your next chapter starts now.